welcome to episode 66, featuring Adam Sako, Fight Night Picks Craig Allen, Scott McNaughton, and J.M. Holland. Let's do it. Hello, folks. How are you? Welcome to episode 66 here on the East Coast to the Maritimes. Hope everybody's doing well at home. It's been a beautiful, rainy day here in the Maritimes, but like everybody, we're trying to get through this quarantine. And again, thank you to everybody working on the front lines and helping us through everything that we're going through in this world. It's I'm quite speechless on the things that have happened the last week or so in the world, and I will leave it at that. We'll try to focus on some positive things here. And with that being said, I'd like to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, obviously maritimemadness.com, a beautiful local company. They make over 30 different sauces available online. You can check them out at maritimemadness.com. Use the code FLA10. You'll save 10%, and obviously you'll get free shipping over $35. Made in Prince Edward Island, a fantastic company. So let's get right into it here, folks. This is a guy. We got a great show lined up for you. Obviously, we have four fantastic gentlemen from across the country and into the United States. This first gentleman, he's a super talented MMA fighter out of Quebec. He fights out of H20 martial arts under Richard Ho. He's a 5-0 record. But more importantly, he's a bantamweight. He's I think ranked number 2 in the country as an amateur. He's going to be making his pro debut, I would guess, in the next little bit. But he's one of those guys. He's super fun to watch. He's an all-around athlete, and he's just getting started. That's the scary part. So I want to bring him in right away and chat with this guy and kind of see how he's getting along with dealing with not being able to train and all that kind of stuff. So without further ado, Mr. Adam Sako, how are you, sir?
Hey, how are you?
Awesome, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. It's like you said, I think in the introduction, this is so weird. Everything is so weird right now, so we have to make the best of it.
Yeah, that's very well said. There's no other way to say it, but it's a shit time, it's a shit year, and
but with this shit thing, we can build something,
That's right.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful, positive thing, man. That's when there's a lot of positivity that can come out of this, and it's important to have people like you to think that way. I like that.
But it's hard sometimes to find some people to build. Like, what do you want to build? What's the message? What you're gonna do? And I think your podcast, your league, we never really worked together or something like that. It's a good thing that it's out there, so I respect that a lot, and I respect that you welcome me on the podcast just a little to talk about anything.
Yeah, well, that Adam is how life is positive. Like that's the beauty of this kind of thing. Like you and I've spoke a little bit in the past about fighting and random stuff. I'm a fan of your amateur career. How did you get involved in martial arts?
I was born in it. It's low key, but I was born in it. I was more born in arts than martial arts. So arts, I think it's about expressing yourself. Expressing yourself. I don't know if but then how do you want to express yourself, and how do you want to get your message out there? Like, let me be real with you. Mixed martial arts, it's not my end goal. Like, what can I do with that talent?
Yeah, smart.
Yeah, it is not. It's not smart to me, but
well,
it exists, So
the thing is, like for you, it's okay to have other goals. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay. There again, what we're experiencing in this life. Life is one. You have one life, so there's so many different things that you can experience in life that are amazing, right? So that's. If you want to fight professionally, fantastic. If you want to go do Cirque du Soleil, great.
Stop.
Whatever.
I will. But the message is something is that is dicey. There are people that cannot be in your position or can afford to walk that path. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I might be doing it for something. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you,
Yeah.
what do you like
Sorry.
about it? What is the something that you like about it?
About fighting?
Hmm.
Adrenaline, yo, that's dope.
What like
Yo, that guy's maybe that person likes to fight. Maybe whatever, whatever in
yeah.
front of that person, and then let's talk different.
Yeah.
So we're
There's
locked in there, like, yeah,
no bullshit.
no bullshit. It's real. It is what it is, and then
You
deal
move
with your
on.
win, deal with your love, your loss. I don't know. It's deal with it because I lost my second fight, but I've won my first. But my first fight had me questioning myself. Like, was
Mm,
yo, I won. I have all that glory, you know.
yeah.
I'm looking back at that cage, talking to the fucking doctor,
Yeah.
and there's what the fuck was that?
It's it can play with your head, huh?
It does. It does. It does. So if that can play with your head, be your own player.
Yeah.
Play
Yeah.
with your head.
Control the mind.
Yeah, that's how I think I see it. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think that's how it works. It works for me. It doesn't work for everyone.
No, it definitely doesn't, man. The mind is a crazy thing, you know. It's
It's so crazy, man. And
it
shout
really.
out to you because with all this thing, and you still give me an opportunity. Can you hear me well? I don't know
Yeah,
my mic.
of
Can
course.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. You don't give me an opportunity to talk to do something positive with this whole fucking mess. So
Yeah.
it's beyond fighting, you know. So what do you want to fight is a good question. If you
Yeah.
don't belong there, it's not worth it. Don't fight. Like fight
Yeah.
something that give him give something.
Yeah.
Don't take. Yeah.
It's true, and that it's if your head's not in it, why do it? I couldn't agree more. People, it's a good way to get hurt, but it's also you're not really respecting the process, you know, because you have guys like you out there working hard every day, looking for opportunities to fight, right? So
Yeah, but I don't look like someone that can work hard or maybe works hard. It's so
you're fun to
that
watch, though.
wasn't yeah, that wasn't my point. That wasn't my point. But maybe someone listening to this might like, yeah, I get that. And then maybe it's gonna
Yeah.
trigger something. I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm
It's
not there for that.
pay it forward, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
that's what you're doing right now. That's why I'm, let's say, licking your ass.
yeah, that's right. You're
Cause yeah,
pay it forward. Be good to one another.
yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, man. How are you dealing with all this stuff in the world, man? Like how like like obviously like we said there's a lot of positives that can come out of it like this conversation, other conversations, but how do you feel about it all, man?
It is a quote that that's been in my life for, let's say, that I remember ever. It's by Michelangelo, criticized by creating. So what can I create? That's the way I see it. Like
Hmm.
we can create something. It's, how do you do it? How can we talk about it? How can we? It's hard. Like it's when you get into a spot that you can do something about it and you don't. Like
Hmm.
yeah, you still did something about it, but you didn't. So Sorry if I sound a little bit like weird about that, but
Mm-mm.
that's
Mm.
that's how I see it, and that's yeah, we need to create something about that thing, and if
Mhm.
not, then we have to deal with the rest that will come with it.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. You're so right. Change, create something positive. If not, you're going to deal with it. That's
Yeah, you will have to. It is what it is.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
if I don't change that, let's say talking martial arts, um, if it's jabbing me all the time and I don't have an answer to it, I don't create something like
yeah,
I don't come up with something easy. Yo, create.
yeah. That's true. Like your eyes are gonna puff up. You're not gonna be able to see, and the fight's gonna
Yeah,
be over. Yeah, you have to move. You have to
yeah.
adapt and change and deliver.
Well, no, Tony Ferguson was so fucking good. He was in there. He
Yeah,
was in there with Gaethje, and
that was
Gaethje was like,
man. What'd you think of that
yeah,
fight?
was great. It was beautiful, and it I think let's say to us fans, because I I do the work in the fighting aspect, but let's say to us fans, because we were watching, we were not in there.
Yeah,
It might have opened some eyes because there were no sounds, there was no crowd, so you had to be a fan to watch at that thing,
hmm
at this thing, and
yeah. It might have.
yeah,
That's true.
both guys put in some work, you know, the corners, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever. But at the end of the day, fuck your feelings, man. That shit happened, and there was some great work, a lot of great work on both
Yeah.
sides, and that's just the game, I think.
Yeah, that's true, man. Then you're very. I love the video of Tony the next day in the hospital dancing around with his oxygen, like he was in the
Yo, it's crazy
hospital.
like that. I think
Love,
it's crazy like that.
loves it, man. Loves it. You know, those are the
I've been
most.
talking too much.
What's that?
I've been talking too much.
No, no. You're good. You're good. What for you? You're very long as a bantamweight. Is
Hmm.
that something that you continue to work on? Like, is your length, your stand up, or is the ground something you're going to focus on, or you just adapt and love it all?
Um, of course, it's something we have to work on.
Hmm.
It will ever be, but the mind is the shit.
Yeah,
So whatever. Like
whatever the
if I
mind
have to
says.
get in a cage with someone, like you understand what you're getting yourself into, and then yo, it's scary. Fighting is scary. It is what it is.
Yeah, it
And some
is.
people that you can tell they never got punched or taken down or been like it's scary, you know. So uh,
Yeah,
then if I made the choice to walk in that cage, I made the choice to come out alive. That's not.
yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
right. It can go either way. You're willing to either way, win or lose, man. It's a scary, scary thing to get in that cage, man. And I'm amazed at the people who are like can get in there without training. The people that get in there, I'm like, what? Are you?
It's something about them themselves. Like, have you ever fought like in a cage, like
No, man.
raged?
I'm a brown belt in jujitsu, but no, like,
Yo,
no.
brown belt is yo is something in
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu.
yeah,
Like in the cage, like you might be a black belt in taekwondo, whatever belt you are in, whatever. Come out there alive.
yeah.
It's not funny, but I laugh about it. But it's not funny. It's just like it
It,
is what it is, you know?
it's true though, man. It's no joke. It's scary shit, man. It really is. Do you
Yeah,
compete a lot, like in tournaments or anything?
I did before. I did, but when I make the choice to do it, like whatever excuses I have beforehand, it's out of the window. It's yeah, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. It's a sport that I wished I wasn't good at, and I had the chance to just bail out. That's something. I'm conflicted with this what I do.
Interesting. So, well, it's interesting to see. Maybe after COVID, if you go back or not. Like,
I'm
other?
already in. I'm
You're
already
already
in.
in. Good for you. Nice,
Yeah,
nice,
I'm just talking about it. Some different aspects. So I'm already in. Like,
nice, nice.
yeah.
Do you any
So
other art
how
form?
about you? Art forms?
Yeah, music.
Music. I grew up with it. I listen to a lot of music and painting. I'm not good at it. Um,
It's hard.
Arts, like, it's an art form. At some point,
Yeah,
whatever. Don't. If you want to fight to get out of your anger, I don't judge you. But to me, it wasn't like that. It's
yeah.
something else. It's something else. I don't put the finger on it. So,
Hmm.
and then what about you? What? I have a question for you.
Hmm.
What prompted you to promote and create content? And because it is a platform, it is to whatever you
Yeah.
want to. It is. So
Well,
I would like to hear that.
well, I've been promoting for a while, like jujitsu events,
Okay.
like pay-per-view jujitsu events, and I just thought it wasn't a challenge anymore. For me, it was to be honest, it was boring. I wanted to get involved into MMA and see if we could do it, and we did it, and I think we did it really well. We have lots to learn though, but it's
Yeah. So
the challenge, man. Like it's like, to me, I look getting in a cage. No, no, no. For me,
no,
no.
you said it. You said it. You said
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
It's all right.
yeah. Like, then you and I, we
I
can do
won't blame it for
jujitsu
you. It's a
all day.
mindset.
That's
Yeah,
right. That's right. You
it's a
and I can
mindset.
roll and do jujitsu all day, man, all day. I'd love to,
Yeah.
but I'm not ever getting in a cage and fighting you.
No,
But for
it's not about me.
promoting,
Yeah.
promoting for me is it's a love. I love the sport. I love athletes, man, like you or other people. I meet. It's a passion for me. So I meet people from around the world with different stories, and this we can't do events. So
Different. I get it's different perspectives because when you do jujitsu, it's different body types, different. So with a different body type, it's a different perspectives. So
yeah,
that's what I learned from it, and it's beautiful. So I can hear you.
cool.
But that's beautiful to hear, man.
That's what it's about for me. Like, if we can go into events and make some money and have good events, fantastic. But if we can go into an event and we don't make money and there's still the events really well, the fighters move on in their career. That's the key. That's to move a sport, to have a good people surround you, and do it for the right things. And that's why I'm on here talking to people, man. Like, who cares? Like, just be nice and spread the positive vibes, right?
Yeah, you said it. If it's good, good. If you
Yeah.
can make more money and make more events and everything, it's even better. So
Yeah.
it will change a lot of things.
And
And
pass it on to the
yeah,
athlete.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your schedule like with the podcast and the live or something? What
Every
can we
night.
talk more? Okay.
Every night.
If you want to, with some more time, we can do it. But yeah, something I want to talk about. Like, we all know this is fucking going bananas.
Mm,
Like,
ridiculous, man.
yeah. So what can we build from all that pain, misdirected um, thing that we're basically all experiencing
Hmm.
through someone's death? death. Someone died, so it tumbled down to something like that. It's fucked up though.
It
So I
is.
want to take that time to shout out to whoever I can reach to build something out of this. And we spoke in the private. I know you're not you thought about it.
Yeah.
You're a human being. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So
Yeah,
that's
man.
something I'd like to take the time for the time I have to just a little bit talk about that.
Hmm. I'm glad you brought it up, man, because it's very important to talk about, and like you said, this is a platform, and it's important to talk about these things. I don't know how to fix it, but it's
You
I
might
look
not be there to fix it, but still, how
because
did you get a platform to at least talk about it and move forward? Because we have two choices, man. Get in
yeah,
that cage or don't get in that cage. Like it's really it's mind-boggling sometimes.
yeah. I don't like me. I look at myself because I wake up every day and I don't judge anybody. Like to me, it doesn't matter. You're like humanity's humanity, and that's the
Yeah,
way I go about my life.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
weird when I see this thing where it's like educate yourself because I'm so disappointed in so many people that they need to be educated. Like,
But that's the point. It comes down to from my perspective, it comes down to education.
yeah, no question,
Yeah,
no
what
question.
what what do you want to learn? How can you help you learn? Yeah, it's a too big of a subject for me to even go further with that.
Hmm.
But it's something that I would like to explore more,
I would
right?
love to.
Because
Yeah.
it will be great. It will be great for everyone. Because my coach, you know him,
Richard Ho.
is actually Asian.
Correct.
And he
Yeah.
speaks English. English is not my first language, and French is not my first language. But my coach right now is actually Asian, so they've been through a lot of racism and a lot of thing like that. So sometimes
Wow.
you don't get it if you don't feel it.
Yeah.
So that that
That,
was that was the that was my point for now. And if you can and we can talk about it a little bit more, just do something about it.
yeah.
At the end of the thought, it's the goal.
That's good.
That's
Maybe
my
we can
thing.
make
Yeah.
like a weekly episode you and I can host together or something, to talk more about the conversation or to there are ways to I think, you know, I don't know how, but I think it's important to even talk about it between the two of us, man.
Yeah, why not? I'm down for that. I'm down for that. But yeah, I don't talk good about those things, but
Yeah.
still, it's an option.
Hmm.
It's something we
Yeah.
can do within our power.
Hmm. No
To
question.
just
And you
I
and you're allowed to feel that way. That's what's important, man. Like you're allowed to feel that way and you should feel that way. So don't like it's bullshit, dude. Period.
I
And it
know.
it needs to be fixed. And
Yo,
there's not
I have a funny story for you before we leave.
yeah.
Leave. Sorry for the. But I was training with the. I don't know if I have to. If I can. Yeah, Olivier Aubin.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, merci.
Yeah.
Like, I was training with him yesterday, and something so funny happened. Like, to me, it was funny.
Yeah.
Like, training, like, warming up, and stuff like that. And he posted, um, what's his name? We are all one. Like,
Yes. 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 I saw that.
his name. You,
Ah, I don't
Sako.
know.
Yeah, but he
Sencha.
is a legend. No, it's not Senchai. It's not Senchai. He's Asian, but he's not Senchai. And
Genke Sudo. Thanks, Craig.
yeah.
Genke Sudo.
So yeah, and he did that pose like years ago, before even it was even cool to be in that movie.
He did it yesterday.
Yeah, he did it like no. Ali did it yesterday, okay? And he got shit for it. But he was with me in the park doing all the right things.
Yeah.
You know, so he was trying to put a message out there like we are all one with all the flags. He tried. He got shit for that. He laughed about it. I asked him what. And then
you can't win,
was like,
man.
well, yeah. So then what's even funnier is that it was like, oh shit, what should I do? I don't know. Like this is some bullshit. And then he posted something else with the black square.
Yeah.
And we were in the park, man, with different light. It wasn't black.
Oh no.
So he got shit.
What color was it? Purple?
No. It was like lighter gray or something.
Oh no.
Some shit like that. It wasn't. But did you get the message? Like the guy was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" So this is a living meme for me forever. And
people are so quick to judge, man.
They're quick to judge, and yeah, we have to talk about some things. If you can talk, you can talk. That's it. And shout out to my boys, to my boys before I leave.
Yeah.
I'll state sponsors and people that made me a little bit what I am.
Mm-hmm.
Family first, friends, and the people that bully me ever.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. Like I wake up, I get bullied by my friends that are Asians. Fuck those guys. Fuck you. That's it. They know who they are.
That's right.
Like, yeah. But I love them. It's out of love. Okay. And sponsors, Ruka, Canada. Okay. High Seas Maritime. I have Addison Electronics that are doing some great work, and Atlas bro right there.
Atlas, nice. From Australia?
No, it's from Quebec, right here. Like it's brands that like to support local and environment and stuff like that,
nice.
and surf, and that's what I like. So excuse me if I forget something about that, but
well, I appreciate you very much, Adam. We'll get you on. I think let's talk after this and figure out, I think it's important, man, because you and I have spoke a lot, off air, and
we know what we spoke about. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think it's important to further. I'm glad that you want to do that. So I'm honored, and I think we'll chat after this, and we'll go from there, man. But I want to thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you're safe up there in Quebec, and we'll chat with you soon. All right?
Yeah, no problem, man.
Okay, awesome.
Take care.
There you have it, Adam Sako, folks. What a guy! Awesome, what a guy. Cool. So a super talented athlete, as I said, out of Quebec. A great guy. Lots of cool information, and it'll be interesting. We'll chat after this and see how we can continue that conversation, because it's super important. So let's move on to our second guest of the night. This guy's out of Freddytown, Fredericton, New Brunswick. I think. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's where he's from. He's the host of Fight Night Picks, amongst other different outlets on YouTube. They've kind of blown up on YouTube in the last little bit. He covers all local MMA and, more importantly, the high-level stuff. Super knowledgeable. They're two brothers. We're joined by one of them tonight, Craig Allen. Extremely knowledgeable kind of analysts, I guess. And I think the future is bright for these guys. I think they could really it's nice to see young, up-and-coming people covering our sport at this level. So who knows where he could end up on national TV or wherever. I'm sure he's in the mix for that already. But without further ado, folks, let's bring him on. Craig Allen.
Man, thanks for having me. Like, I don't know how I can follow that up. I mean, Adam, for a guy who English isn't his first language, man, he speaks really well. So,
yeah,
and he's insightful and quite thoughtful. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how I can follow that up, but I really appreciate the opportunity nonetheless. And awesome to talk to you for the first time. I mean, it just so happened in February, went down to Florida for a week, and I had already planned on going to New England Fights. It was the same night as the first FLA event, so I couldn't just hop back over and drive to Nova Scotia. I was in Maine, and everything kind of worked out that way. And then I was really looking forward to the card this spring, and unfortunately, due to the circumstances, we are where we are.
Yeah, you're so right there, man. It's crazy times, and you guys are keeping busy though. It's too bad we didn't get you down there. We'll get you down at any of our next events. But how did you guys get started in this?
So I didn't have any of this stuff around me when I started. It was me talking into a computer. I was doing it kind of similar to what you're doing, but I would do it twice a week. I would do Monday and Friday, and I would cover everything. I'd talk UFC, Bellator, One Championship, Road FC, LFA. Wow. Like, I would get into the minor leagues. I get into, you got to watch this prospect that's on LFA on Friday from the Bomb Factory in Texas. He's 6-0. He's got all these submission victories, and nobody listened. Nobody cared because I went way too in depth. So then I kind of backed away. I had the opportunity. I started interviewing guys. So I would do, like, I pick the biggest names. So I, throw a DM to John Morgan at MMA Junkie, see if he'd hit me up. And then he did. And then he came on the show, and I thought it was the craziest thing. So I found a guy in Ontario. It was Ty O'Keefe, and he came on my show, and he DM'd me here and there, like, really appreciate it. We should keep the conversation going. Sure. Yeah. So if I was in doubt on a Friday, couldn't get anybody, he'd come on. We talk about the fights. We got to know each other a little bit more. And he said, I've got an opportunity with another Canadian company. It was called getdialogue.am. And it's an online radio platform. It's just like hosting your own radio show. And there's a little bit of money involved. Hey, why not? Like, when I grew up, I wanted to be like maybe not Christopher Mad Dog Russo, but something like that, like the Tim and Sid or something. Yeah, you're doing a good job, man. I'm telling you, super good. I'd love to do that. So we started to do that, and it was an hour a day, every day of the week. So we do it. I was in school, so I went back to school to kind of preface that. And to get into MMA, it was, drinking beers with buddies on Saturday night, and then getting into arguments over who's going to win, getting into the techniques, this and that. Because for you and for Adam and for the majority of the guests that come on the show, you have a martial arts background. Mm-hmm. I will never admit to having a martial arts background. I don't have any of that. I played hockey and baseball growing up, and at a somewhat decent level, but it was just tape study and analysis. And it's more of like you've got Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. Well, Troy played. Joe didn't. I mean, he did to an extent. Though, man. Some of the best people in the sports never played, for sure. So getting into it that way, and you can definitely critique me. You can critique Matt to an extent for that. But we hosted that radio show. We kept going into the winter. He was telling me, you got to get into YouTube. You got to start learning this. And it was just so cumbersome to try and learn a StreamYard or an OBS or whatever, but let's do it. Let's go. Cause I already did the podcast. So let's try it. Yeah. So we started doing the YouTubes. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. Ty, unfortunately, so the radio deal ended in December 2018. Coming into 2019, Ty had some health complications, and out of those, unfortunately, passed away in January 2019. No. So I was left without a co-host. It was just me. Oh man. So there's me, the radio show's done. I've got YouTube, but nobody's watching. I've got a podcast, but nobody's watching. I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. So continue on with the YouTube, see what I can do some interviews. Then I brought Matt on. And it was like, well, it's your brother. You get out of it what you can. If we have a squabble or a disagreement, I don't know what we're going to do. Yeah. Do the podcast. Then we really dove into the name of Fight Night Picks and started last summer with the picks. And slowly but surely got up to that goal of 1,000 in January. And now it's just blown up, and it's kind of gone a little squirrely and hard to believe. And that's where we are today. So that's cool. That's kind of the nuts and bolts of how I get into it. But it was just arguing with buddies on a Saturday night. Hey, I'm going to start a podcast. Well, I don't know how to host it. I'm going to buy a website, domain name, then I'm going to host it. Then it just kind of went from there. And now I guess it kind of is what it is.
Trial by fire, man.
That's exactly it. And like when we started in it was April 2018. What would there have been? I mean, you're on the scene. What was there for promotions? What was there for MMA in New Brunswick or in the Maritimes?
Yeah, not a lot.
You had a UFC event in Nova Scotia in 2017. I sat in the crowd as a fan. You had the UFC coming to Moncton 2018. There was no Fight League Atlantic to cover. You've got your promotion in Moncton every now and again.
Yeah.
And then I've got Maine. So I hit up Maine hard, and that's kind of where I went with it in terms of local coverage.
That's smart though, man, because like NEF does a great job. They, you know, and that gets you into that American market, man, which is huge.
Yeah, I mean, like for us, the American market's pretty well just about everything. So to get a chance to go over there, and I mean, you know, with the times the way they are, I don't know when I'm going to step foot in Maine again, but who knows? Or even Nova Scotia for that matter.
Yeah, man, I don't want to get started on this too much, but it's definitely getting frustrating. We got a comment here for you, Matt. Yolanda Blizzard. Hey, Matt. Hey, what's up? You know her? No?
I do not.
Oh, there you go.
How are you?
You got a fan. There you go. Yeah, you're polished, man. Like for me, you know, I'm doing this because I'm just passing time and we're trying to keep the brand going. And by no means like do I think it'll, like, you know, you just start and you do whatever. You go, for me, it's a release. I do it every night kind of thing. But you're really, and both of you guys, like you're really polished. Like it's really well done. And I think you have a bright future in it.
It's funny, like I didn't, honestly, I wanted to build my own brand. I didn't want, and there were some opportunities to work with smaller sites, but when you really get into it, if you want to go work for a smaller site, you start at the bottom and you work your way up, which is fine. And I understand that. It's like that in any other organization, but you're doing fight recaps. I hate writing. Yeah. I hate it. I did it for a bit for a major YouTube channel, and I did about 3 videos and that was it. It's not my cup of tea. I'll do it for our website, but it's only the fight recaps and a little bit of journalism, if you want to even call it that. But for me, it's the video stuff that I love. And then there was a bit of a surprise. I just joined the Body Lock, and they're doing the real kind of journalism, harder hitting type of pieces. I'm just doing some news stuff for them. And the way that they want it is you send them the clips, they'll edit it, they'll do everything for you. It's not a big deal.
Wow.
That's not the world that I come from. And when I do our stuff, we're not one trick pony, but we're one take type of guys. Like if I do a 5-minute video, you're getting 5 minutes. And if I screw up halfway through, I'm going to start over again and do it and edit it after the fact. But that's just how we do it. It's so out of my world to edit and clip and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's there's a lot of fakeness to that, right? I noticed you guys deal really well with trolls. I struggled with that at the beginning. Some of them you're just like for real, like I'm for real. Like why?
Like if you're gonna go out there and say that we're the worst in the world, or like I had somebody today, I haven't responded yet, but somebody today say, you told me that this was gonna happen, or you're the one recently was you guys are the worst YouTube channel on YouTube and your picks are terrible and whatever. Okay.
Wow.
You know, water off it's water off a duck's back to an extent. Like you read into it. And the thing for me is I try to get to as many comments as I can, because if I was somebody that posted there and it was something positive and I got something back out of it, no matter how big or small the channel is, I think it's important. And YouTube, to a lot of people, it's not like the Instagram or the Facebook or the Twitter where they just think that if I'm going to throw this comment out there and nobody's going to read it and nobody's going to say anything to it. Well, I'm going to try my best to get to it. If it's negative, it's negative. So be it. Not everybody's going to like me. I'm fine with that. Like it is what it is.
Engaging, right? You're engaging with the people who are following you, whether negative or not. And by engaging, you may be able to win them over.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, there's been a few out there, but I mean, it's just like I come from the sales world too, like my day job. So, you know, that positive experience that you have with somebody, they might tell 1 or 2 people. It's that classic one. But that negative one, they're going to tell 10, 12, 20, 50 people. So you try your best not to have those negative experiences. And if they're going to say something negative about you online, I mean, take it with a grain of salt. Move forward. And it's tough sometimes. It is, but
that's it. I used to struggle with that too. Like, but man, whatever. Enjoy your life. I'll be here tomorrow night at 6 o'clock.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. Yep. What do you think of the whole COVID and UFC thing? Are you a fan?
Jacksonville? No. Jacksonville didn't, from what I saw, and again, you're only getting snippets, but if you have a fighter as big as Jacare Souza coming in saying, hey, this might be an issue, okay, well, we're going to quarantine you and your team, but on the day of the weigh-ins, there's Fabricio Verdum this far away on Instagram. You're right next to him, and you're supposed to be distancing. And I get he's got the mask, he's got the gloves, but ultimately he had COVID.
Yeah.
Then there's Dana White fist bumping, which is cool if it's regular times, but then he goes right after that and hugs Michelle Watterson. Well, did he wipe his hands? Like, did he? There wasn't. Yeah, he did. So Jacksonville was pretty relaxed. Then, not to be critical, but well, to be critical, Dana White's on his Instagram between fights, and he goes over to Bruce Buffer. Bruce has got a mask on, sitting there at a table with other people. Dana says, hey, thanks so much for that piece on you and Michael, blah, blah, blah. Bruce takes his mask off. He's talking to Dana. You're this close together. Like, it's just, it's not common sense yet, but it's just stuff that you don't need out there on social media. You don't need that negative press. So to have it in Vegas, everybody's got the masks on. Dana's in the back without one, but it's not really going to affect as many people. And it looks a little bit more polished where it's in a smaller type of setting at the Apex facility. I think now things are a little bit better under control. They're quarantined at the hotel until they weigh in. Then you go back to the hotel, then you fight. It's got to be weird for a competitor to be in that setting. That's not ideal, especially if you're the type of guy that, and I'm sure it's one of those things that you hear from managers in MMA, and it's got to be the same for every brand. And it would work well for fighters, like if an amateur fighter is listening to this, and not that I have really any say, but if you're a young amateur fighter, get on social media.
Yeah.
You don't have to be, don't have to be out there like a Tony Ferguson or a Conor McGregor, and you don't have to shout at everybody, but just put yourself out there. That's the best thing that you can do. And it's got to be weird for those types of fighters right now that go to Vegas and then they're stuck in their hotel room. They can't create the bad blood, and you're just going in and fighting somebody. But to the young fighters, like give yourself somewhat of a platform so people recognize you and go from there.
Yeah, I'm shocked all the time, from my side of things too, Matt. Like how many fighters don't take advantage of that side of things? Like social media, like again, you're an amateur. You can make $5,000 in a fight from sponsorships easily. People want to support you. They really do, but you have to get out there and find it. I'm shocked at how many don't use it.
The best advice, or some of the best advice I ever got, I did a piece on the University of New Brunswick when they decided no more combat sports on campus. And the first thing that I did, I was still a student, so I hit up the university as a student, just concerned as a student. I wasn't an MMA guy. Yeah. I just want to get to the bottom of this. And then as soon as I said what I was doing, so I had the conversation with Brandon Brewer, the boxer, the MMA promoter. And that was one of the things that he said to me was when I was a young guy, whether I was pro or amateur, I lived in a house that was run down. I didn't have any money. I'd go out to, Bob's plumbing shop. Hey, Bob, I'm an amateur fighter. Or I'm a fighter. Would you give me $100 and I'll put your logo on my banner? Or could I put it on my shorts? Then if Bob says no, you go to Bill down the street that does roofing. Can I get some money? It doesn't matter what industry they're in. And if you show them, like, A, you have to sell, but B, if you can show them that you at least take the initiative, they're probably going to be willing to support you and help you out, not just now, but as you move on throughout your career.
Mm-hmm. No, it's so true, man. Like they do legitimately want to help you, and they don't even care about the advertising. Like they don't. They want to help you, and if you can provide them with advertising and a little bit in return, like it's so well said. Like I'm shocked again at how many athletes don't take advantage of it. How about Brandon Brewer? Were you there for his event in Fredericton?
I'm trying to think. The last one ended on a bit of a sour note, and that's why they didn't want to have it on campus. I wasn't at that one, but it's again, like, it's weird, and I'm sure you go through it in Nova Scotia as well. You have to have a certain amount of police on the premises, this and that. Yeah. It's also going to get rowdy, and it's probably going to be that you're having if you're having MMA fights in Canada at a hockey rink, you're going to draw a crowd that's probably going to get rowdy, just like at a hockey game. So you have to expect, maybe not even the unexpected. You have to know what you're going to get into. And I've had it before. I had it happen one time. It was really weird. An MMA event. It was in Maine. The fighter it was a TKO finish, and it was clear. Like, the guy was done. The referee ends the fight, and his corner freaked out. And his corner, like, rushed the cage. They were like, when you sit, and again, it depends on the promotion, but I'm sitting right next to the cage. If somebody gets hit in the face, that's whatever's coming out is gonna land on my computer and all over me. But these guys are freaking out, like pushing chairs, they kind of shoved up against me, whatever. Referee comes out, he's like, "Are you all right? Are you good?" "Yeah, I'm fine." But it's stuff like that you kind of have to almost expect. But it's just a shame that it even happens.
It is, man. I think we had legit more fights in the crowd at our event than in the cage, unfortunately. So
come on,
shout out to all you drunk guys out there causing bullshit. Yeah, you're right, man. Some of them I was shocked, but it's, again, young and access to booze and blah blah blah. The commission actually made a really good call, because with the venue, we didn't kind of put it together. Again, first MMA event, cans of beer. They had to go out like 2 days before the event and buy all cans instead of bottles.
Yeah.
And then from the cans, they had to put all the cans into an actual plastic cup, because the can, you could still throw that and it would be like if it was half empty can, if you chucked it in.
I think you get I think you get cups in Maine. I think you do, because one of the venues, like, you guys did it in an arena, correct?
Yeah, they're in a boardroom half the time, aren't they?
They're in an appendage to the Cross Insurance Arena in Bangor, so it's like a ballroom. They went to where the Lewiston Maniacs used to play, which I had never been to that rink before, but it was a half of the rink. And then they do it at they've done it at a couple of different theaters. So they did it University of Maine on campus in a theater, it was a crazy venue. Like, it was neat. They've done it in a concert hall in Portland downtown. It's a part of City Hall, if I'm not mistaken. Wow. But typically it's at a nightclub, and they set up on stage, and people were excited about a 25-foot cage in the UFC, down from 30 at the Apex facility this weekend. You want to see some wild action? 18-foot cage.
I heard
18-foot cage, and Jorgen De Castro, who's now in the UFC, fought at cruiserweight against a guy 6'5", Ross Hilton, in an 18-foot cage.
Oh my God! How that ended up?
What's that? What was it? First round knockout.
Yeah. What do you think about De Castro, man? I don't know if he was hurt there or what, but
they say broken foot. People in the YouTube comments cried foul and said, "Is this rigged?" It's not rigged. I mean,
not rigged at all, but he didn't look at all.
Like, normally he's run and gun, but at the same time, this is a guy that's had a losing record as an amateur. I think he was 2-4 as an amateur, and then all of a sudden he strikes gold as a pro, and he's got these wicked hands and a crazy low kick with his right foot. Like, he just looks insane. So I think he probably did just break that right foot. Doesn't train on the opposite side as much, and then you have to be kind of shy of striking against Greg Hardy. That even though he didn't look great against Volkov, and the Sassoli fight, he kind of danced around the outside. Every other fight outside of that, he's finishing guys in the first round. So
he's definitely no joke. And anybody who's making fun of the guy thinking he's not a real threat I think people are starting to understand now. He's doing the right things. He's surrounding himself with the right people, and
it's a guy fighting out of Fall River, Massachusetts. Like, he's a guy from Cape Verde in Africa, and all of a sudden he's become like a sensation overnight. Fights Justin Taffa in Marvel Stadium, the biggest crowd ever in MMA, and knocks out a hometown guy like that. So I hope for nothing but the best, and New England's really starting to gain with talent there too.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Do they do shows in Portland? Is that where they do the shows in the theater you were saying?
So the first show we ever did, of course, again, I sent some messages out in the Maritimes, but there's only 2 promotions and there was only one holding an event and I never heard back. So we'll put that where it is. But I sent a message to New England Fights on a Wednesday. They had a show on Saturday and my message was, hey, next time you have an event, months down the road, I'm just starting this. I'd like to cover it. And we started in April and I had no idea what I was really doing. This was June. Wednesday. Yeah, we got an event on Saturday. You want to come down to Portland?
Nice.
Well, I didn't really plan for the 5-hour drive down or the hotels or anything, but yeah, sure. So I went down and covered it. And that was the first one. So yeah, that was June 2018. Now we're June 2020. So yeah, crazy. Cool.
Yeah, it's important for people to understand, though, I always try to utilize anybody who writes locally for us and put them cage side because people don't understand. Like, obviously, you guys are at a little bit different level now, and I think you're going to continue to build. But starting out, like writing for MMA or writing for whatever it happens to be, it is a lot of work, man.
And Russell McDonald in the comment there saying Brady fought or in Portland. I've seen 2 of Brady's fights. One, it might have been that first card. It might have. And the second one was in Bangor. And honestly, it was one of the wildest fights I've seen.
Jake Bagley fight.
Yeah, it was that fight.
Unreal. Yeah,
that was a wild fight.
Yeah, Brady's tough. No question about it, man. He's a stud. He's at our area, our club there in Pictou County. So it'll be I think he's going back to Team Alpha Male. Obviously, who knows when this is going to happen, but you might be able to get there now. I don't know.
That's the wild thing is like I think it's crazy. You got a guy from Pictou County, Nova Scotia, is traveling to Team Alpha Male to better himself in the sport, and there's other guys like even in Maine. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna go train at ATT for a week or 2.
Yeah.
Oh, it's that I didn't know.
Oh
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
If you like getting punched in the face, you can pretty much go anywhere and get punched in the face for sure. People like it's not a thing. Yeah, you'll learn really quick sometimes. I remember my first time I did any MMA sparring. Yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna stick to jiu-jitsu. I think it's a whole different ball game altogether, man. And I always laugh at the people who don't respect the process. It's like, I don't know, just shut it.
I'll stay behind the camera for now.
Yeah, that's right. All right, buddy. Well, I got to thank you so much for joining us, Craig, and hopefully we can get you both on at another time, or just yourself, man. I think you do great things, and hopefully we can get you to an event or whatever happens. We are going to be moving forward with or without spectators. If it's before the end of the year, I don't know. But folks, make sure you get out there. How can they follow you guys online?
Yeah, you can find us. YouTube's kind of the primary spot. So it's just Fight Night Picks there, at Fight Night Picks on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that. And then we make it pretty simple, at Craig Allen FNP Fight Night Picks and at Matt Allen FNP. You can find us there. So I really appreciate you having me on. It's great to actually chat like this. And looking forward to some more sports and some more MMA, and especially MMA in the Maritimes as well.
Fingers crossed, man. Whatever we can do on our end too to help build your following more in the Maritimes, I think, there's a lot. That's the important part, working together, man. And you guys are I think it would be cool to eventually get you guys to breaking down our fights and picks too, because your graphics, the way you guys do it is really, really good.
We did one just before I go. We did one on the pier in Daytona Beach, getting ready for Manny Bermudez and Bruce Boynton. So yeah, anything's possible. I mean, hopefully things calm down a little bit and fights can proceed.
Fingers crossed, man. All right, pal. Enjoy the rest of your night, and thanks for joining us. There you have it, folks. Craig Allen, Fight Night Picks. See you, pal. Awesome. What a guy. Make sure you follow them. They really, really do a good job. And also they get a lot of the fights right, which is good. All right, let's, yes, Russell, very small cages. I agree. 18 feet, man, it's pretty small. Let's get on to our third guest of the night, folks. This is a gentleman, man, he's an amateur mixed martial artist out in British Columbia. He's involved in the beard game. Okay, this guy not only is a combat athlete, a talented athlete, but he's also involved. He's a beard ambassador, and he's super involved in that industry. And obviously, he's got other talents and tons of other talents that I want to talk to him about. But I'm really interested in talking about this because to me, I have a little beard here, not a great one, but it's a big deal to a lot of people. And I don't really take care of my beard the way I guess I should. So I want to talk to this guy and kind of just shoot the shit, I guess, without a doubt. Without further ado, here we go. Scott McNaughton. How are you, sir?
My man, thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. The world seems to be a little bit crazy, but where I am, it's rather peaceful, so I can't complain too much.
Nice. Are you in Kelowna or?
I live in a small place called Blind Bay. It's about 2 hours from Kelowna, and yeah, it's a nice little spot. There's not a lot of gyms out here, unfortunately, though. So I'm kind of leading the way for trying to get people training.
Nice. Good for you. Man, BC is such a beautiful place. Like, absolutely beautiful. It's probably like I'm in the East, obviously. I'm a little biased, I think but I've taken the Rocky Mountain near a couple times. Man, unreal.
Yeah, man. BC is beautiful. I mean, I grew up on Vancouver Island. Then I had the joy of going over to Alberta for a little bit when I was 20, and I got to just kind of see BC and Alberta and the difference. And you miss being by the ocean. You miss being by the trees. You miss all that. Going through the Rockies is really cool, but being downtown Calgary, you don't get a lot of that nature feel that BC has.
Yeah, is that a big part? Is that a big, huge thing for you? Like you spend a lot of time outdoors, whether it's training or just being active?
Yeah, it's a huge thing for me, actually. I don't mind going to a city. Like if I go to, Vancouver for like a battlefield fight or just a fight card, AMA, anything like that, it's fun to go there, but I can't imagine living in a city again. I did that for a little while and it was too hectic, too crazy. The traffic, just the mindset of some people in a city is different from a small place like this. Like where I am, there's only 3,000 people.
Oh, man. So
and most of them are retired. I mean, I can walk to the lake. It takes me 2 minutes from the front door. It's a beautiful lifestyle for, especially me being a single dad. This is a great spot to take your kid out, get them to meet other kids that are really involved in their family and teach them, family's important.
That's so great to hear. I love that, man. That is so well said. And family is important, man. It's lifestyle. Sometimes I'm always amazed at people like, I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. You can do anything. You can do not anything, but there's a lot you can do with hard work and dedication, man.
Totally. I mean, you can't go into space and take off your helmet and breathe. We know we can't do that. But on a day-to-day basis, you can do pretty much anything you set your mind to, as long as you work hard and you put in the dedication and the hard work. That was a big way for me how I got involved in MMA. I harassed every promoter I could find for years until they actually talked to me. I was just some kid that wanted to fight.
Yeah.
And I eventually got through to battlefield and I was like, hey guys, I want to fight. And, it was a learning process going through 3 fights. I've had 3. I lost all 3 of my fights. And I realized I was fighting at too heavy of a weight class. I wasn't disciplined enough and I wasn't taking it seriously. I was letting my personal life really get in the way. Yeah,
that's a huge part of it too, man. Like if you can, and again, like I guess maybe that goes back to like you say, if you can just surround yourself with the right environment, things sometimes will work out a little bit better, right? Like if you have all this stuff going on in your head and then you're going into the cage, like I'm one of these people, I'm super like, I could train with my coaches all day and they know because they're like, you're not like, you're thinking about like the podcast or whatever the hell I would be thinking of when we train, right? When you have to be focused, man.
Yeah, man, you got to give it everything you got when you're in there, especially in sparring. Some of those guys, man, they're hungry. They are hungry. They got title fights coming up, or they just want to get to a title. They just want to fight somebody because they want to make a name for themselves, get to the UFC, whatever their goal is. Maybe they want to get to ONE FC or Bellator. Not everybody wants to go to UFC.
Yeah,
but they got something to prove. And some guys got chips on their shoulders. Like myself, I got a couple chips and dips on my shoulders, but those guys are animals. And when you get in there, like I remember my first fight against Nick Q, very, very nice gentleman, very, very, sweet person. I've never been hit that hard in my life by a human being. My head bounced off the canvas. I woke up and I'm like, holy shit, where the fuck am I? You know, my second fight against Tom, I went up too heavy. I went up to 162, and that was just a bad idea. I remember when he took off his shirt at the weigh-ins and I took off my shirt, and I was like, you're 4 times bigger than I am.
Oh, no. What goes through your mind then?
Shit. Yeah. Oh, you know, I remember seeing him, and Tom's a great guy too. I love Tom, and him and I still talk every now and again. He's doing great things, and I wish him nothing but success and the best. And I remember when we weighed in, and they're like, "Yeah, you guys were supposed to make 160. You're at 162. You know, fuck it. Let's just do this. Let's get it over and done with. There's no point in cutting the other 2 pounds." And we shook hands, and I remember just like shaking his hand. He was so much stronger than I was. I was like, fuck, he's just going to break me tomorrow. And so we get in the ring and we start having our fight. And I tripped. I kind of got tangled up in my feet when he was charging forward and throwing a few shots. And I fell down. I scooped down. I grabbed his leg. And I'm like, I'm just going to take this guy's leg. Because I got pretty strong legs myself. This dude was literally like a telephone pole in the ground. Nothing. I got nothing. And there was a lot of learning experience from that, getting beaten up by 2 guys. You know, Nick was smaller, Tom was bigger. And the learning process was great, just to realize I have to find where I fit in this game. Because I'm clearly I'm not big enough for 155, but I gotta be more disciplined and figure out this weight thing.
Yeah, that's where I'm always amazed, man, at people who can cut weight properly. And it's, again, shout out to Sport come out right at all. So I'm gonna forget all that.
Oh, good, my man.
Shout out to anybody who's involved in weight cut. And that's because you look at people who are like they're fighting at 170 and they're fucking 195 pounds and legit smaller than me. And I'm like, what? But it's proper nutrition, man. They're filled properly, whereas I'm eating chips and smoking weed, right? So there's a difference, right? You know, I eat healthy, don't get me wrong, but there's a difference, man, when you actually are looking after it properly, man.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people will look at you and they're like, hey, I've done bodybuilding and stuff, so, you know, eat broccoli, cauliflower, and chicken, and you're good to go. And that's not quite what it is when it comes to MMA. There's a lot more to it than that. So, you know, nutrition, definitely do your research on that.
Yeah, it's so true, man. Very true. So what got you into the beard game? Obviously, you have a killer beard there. I got to ask you.
I appreciate it. It's a bit... Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just, how did it come about? Like, you just started growing it one day and you're like, because to me, beard oil, beard products, they became like massive like a couple years ago. Like or maybe 5 years ago. They really they were like craft beer and everything. Like, it just kind of exploded. Yeah. Weed was legal. Everything became all at once.
It's so true. Yeah, I know it did. And, you know, I thought for a long time beard oil was like snake oil. Like, you're just selling me on some bullshit.
Yeah.
I really thought that's what it was. I had people coming to me, yeah, man, I went to the hair cutter. I got some beard oil. My beard's never looked better. Mm-hmm. Cool. Awesome. And, you know, I was married for a little while there. I'm now separated, and it's just my son and I. And throughout my marriage, I always kept a very clean shaven face. That's how my wife at the time liked it. And I didn't really feel very free with it. I didn't like it. Yeah. So as soon as our relationship came to an end, I decided to start growing this. So it's been, I don't know, about 10 months, and I've trimmed it twice. And it's obviously, because of quarantine, I have this crazy Sasquatch thing going on where, you know, it's getting long on the side. Thank God I get that taken care of tomorrow. Oh. But luckily for me, actually, I got involved in the beard game as soon as COVID happened. I was working at a little gas station down the road. They started changing the hours, and then they just said, you know, we're going to make it so we're only open about 5 hours a day. And they said, we just don't have enough work for you, so you might as well go home, hang out with your kid. And when COVID's over, we'll try and figure out what we're going to do here. And literally a week after that conversation, I saw an ad pop up on my Facebook for a company called The Beard Struggle, which is who I work for now. Mm-hmm. And it was an application to become a beard ambassador. I filled it out. got a response rather quickly. And I started the group. When I jumped in, there was only, I think, 281 beard ambassadors. Now we have something like 7,500. And we have, yeah, and it's a Viking themed beard company. And at first I just wanted to try the product. I was a fan of Vikings and The Last Kingdom, Norsemen, like all the Viking shows that you can find on Netflix. And, you know, I just love that shit. And with the whole theme, I just gave it a try. Gave the beard oil a try. Then I tried the shampoo. Then I tried the conditioner. And every time I tried something, my beard just got softer. It just got nicer. It got, you know, I bought a beard straightener, which I never thought I would buy a beard straightener. Wow. I never thought about taking care of myself. I used to be 315 pounds in high school. You know, the last thing on my mind was any form of manscaping or getting a woman, because why would they look at me to begin with? Yeah. And I've kind of had that mindset my whole life now, just kind of, I don't know, guess you could call it fat kid mentality or whatever it is. Yeah. And I've noticed that growing a beard really boosted my confidence. It's gotten me out there. I have a huge support group now of other bearded Viking dudes that we help each other on amazing projects. Some guys are opening t-shirt companies. Some guys are starting ring companies. Some guys are, you know, starting dojos or production companies. It's amazing to see what the company is starting to do in such a short period of time. We've only been working together for about 3 months.
It's interesting, man. Like, it's very smart too, you know, like, because beards are everywhere, you know, there are dudes everywhere who grow them. Like, it's actually a very smart concept. So that's why I want to talk to you about it and kind of how it worked. Like, so the idea is, like, obviously, like, do you have product you sell, or how does it work?
So what I do is I just let people know about the product. I simply just let people know that I love the shit out of this stuff. I'll let you know, like, I love Viking Storm for the beard oil. Like, whether it's a day oil or a night oil, that scent is delicious. Like, I want to fuck myself when I get that. It's amazing. But, you know, and that goes for almost all of them. Like, you get Asgardian Secret. Oh, it smells good. It's more of a sweeter tone. You know, you get Freya's Bliss. It's a little bit more of a woodsy tone. They have a whole guide and everything on there. We sell the shampoo and conditioners. We sell combs, custom combs. We sell literally anything you can think of that you would need for a beard balm, the beard straightener, like I was talking about. That's personally my favorite thing. It looks like an amazing, majestic weapon that you comb and tame your beard. Yeah. So, you know, it's something that I enjoy. Every morning I wake up and I see that stuff on my counter and I feel good. I want other people to feel good. I want them to feel confident. Because at one point I didn't feel that way. So literally I just tell people, hey, I got a discount code if you want it. It's Scott M15. Go into the discount section at the very end. When you get to the checkout, punch that in, you get 15% off, and pick what you want in there. Make sure you pick anything that you feel that, hey, I want to give this a try. Is it worth it? Because I guarantee you by the time you try it, you're going to love it like I did, because I thought it was bullshit to begin with too.
Cool. Awesome. Well, there you have it, folks. I got it. Without further ado, I guess, the bearded Scott, the bearded ambassador, man. I want to thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully we can get you on here in a longer time and maybe do a bearded episode or something like that. We can get a few of your other fellow ambassadors on it and we can chat and have a round table, smoke a cigar, and have a beer.
I love it. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you having me on. Thank you very much.
Of course, man. So shout out to the Bearded Struggle, and make sure you give Scott a follow there. They can follow you where, Scott?
My Instagram is contact for Scott. And then, I mean, even feel free to send me a friend request or whatever on Facebook. I'm a personable guy. So let me know what you guys need. I'm there for you.
Cawsome. I don't know why I said cawsome.
Thank
you so much, buddy. Appreciate you joining us. We'll see you soon. Scott McNaughton,
Thank
folks.
you.
Yeah, buddy. Take care. All right, that was great. Third guest of the night, folks. You know, get that beard game going. I just shaved today. You can't see the gray in it. I'm not getting any closer. The last guest of the night, folks. This guy probably has no idea who I am, but I've known him for years. He's one of these guys in jiu-jitsu. He's a black belt under Eddie Bravo, a club owner in 2 different locations down in Pennsylvania. He's competed on every goddamn show you can pretty much imagine when it comes to submission grappling and grappling. Crazy talented, crazy tough. He competed in combat jiu-jitsu, won the worlds, just an absolute savage. So without further ado, folks, let's bring on our final guest of the night, the man, the one and only JM Holland. How are you, brother?
Yo.
How's things?
Dude, what's up, man? Thank you for that was awesome. Thank you, man.
Oh, it's true, man. It's true. Like you like I said to Zach, like you guys were kind of how we started Submission Series, man. Like the way you do everything with finishers and everything you guys do down there is really awesome, man. It's positive, it's high level, and I love it.
Dude, yeah, that's just our job. It's awesome. It's a good gig, you know. We have a lot of fun, and you know, Zach puts a lot into that tournament. You know, he's the man. Like, he handles that tournament pretty much all by himself. He does everything.
Wow.
I'm just like
the face
fighting in it and whatever. It's pretty wild. You know, I help out. You know, there's stuff I do, but I mean, man, he takes that all on his shoulders. He makes the matchups. Awesome.
Yeah, it is cool, man. Like when you can see an environment like that, when everyone's just chilling, sitting around watching high level jiu-jitsu, man, it's a beautiful thing. I got to ask you, JM, you hear me? You there?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm here.
When you got into martial arts, man, obviously you did a little MMA at the beginning, if I'm correct. Is that right?
Sir.
Yeah. What for you? Like,
sir.
What now? Like, what's the goals for you? You competed on, like I said, every show, man. Like, obviously you want to keep competing and winning. What's the goals for JM moving forward?
I don't know. That's a good question. For me, it's just keep working on my people. Like, I got a lot of students. I want to get my business back. My business is back running. I got a son on the way. I got a girlfriend I got to make happy. You know, so I got a lot of stuff on my plate.
Yeah.
I'm just enjoying it. I worked hard. I deserve all this shit. So it's cool. You know, it's good time. It's like, you know, as best it can be.
Yeah.
For the situation, you know what I mean?
I love that. I love hearing that. I deserve that. I work hard. I deserve that, man. That's such a wonderful thing to say, like, because so many people don't say that anymore. Like, you know, you bust your ass off, man. I do deserve that. And like, how are you with this whole bullshit that's going? No, I shouldn't say bullshit, but somewhat bullshit with COVID and martial arts. Like, are you guys just back? Are you open? Everything's good?
Yeah, no, we're doing our thing. You know, we're underground, like, but there's probably a class on the mat right now practicing
Nice.
EBI overtime, like
Nice. Good
14,
for you.
18 people right now.
Wow.
So there's people, you know, that see it. I don't force anyone to train. I'm not gonna change jiu-jitsu, you know?
Yeah.
I gotta train people, you know. I don't, you know, dude, we could talk about this all day, you know,
Yeah.
COVID and what I think about Corona. It's just old. I don't even think people like hearing about it anymore. It's just stale. It's like,
I agree,
you know
man.
what I'm saying?
Like, I'm super sick of it, to be completely honest. Like, I just want, like, I'm sympathetic and all that stuff, but I want to get back to normal life, man. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I got a saying I like where liberties, it's like a Instagram I saw one day. I post sometimes. It just says that liberties aren't given, they're taken. And
Yeah.
I really like that quote, like, where you could think of it like, oh, they're taken from you, but you could also think of it like you take them for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I just take the liberty of doing what I want.
Yeah. Yeah. Badass. I love that, man. I love that.
What's fight me for it?
That's right, man. It's true. Well, when you look back at all the matches you've had, you fought obviously Ethan I don't know how many times you fought Ethan now. He's competed on a lot of my shows. What matches do you look back at and you're like, that was awesome. That was a cool experience for me.
Dude, every one of them is like a huge. Every one of them's been crazy. You know what I mean? And like every one of them, there's a story on one of those fights. You know what I mean? And I just have a habit of fighting that way. So, you know, I enjoy the shit out of it. You know what I mean? Those guys are killing it. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they're training all over and doing great things. You know what I mean? So I'm happy to see that. They're super, you know, successful guys. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's the way I feel about it. That's the beauty of jiu-jitsu, man. If you like the vibe you guys put out, that's the way it should be. You just I fight, I compete hard, and I lose. It doesn't matter, man. I'm on to the next. Like at one point, you were like competing every weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, I stay pretty busy when I can, you know, but I'm not going to say no to cool opportunities. Like I got to do Submission Underground, Sapatero, like all these. I'm part of the scene, so yeah. If I'm needed, I'll jump in. You know what I mean?
Not just part of the scene, man. You're part of damn history, dude. Like for real, when it comes to grappling,
man.
It's true, man. Like you got a lot of fans up here in Nova Scotia, dude.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Like it's cool. It's cool, you know. But that people even know, because people in my regular life have no idea about any of this. So you know, they talk to me like I'm an idiot sometimes. But in the jiu-jitsu community, man, like in the martial arts community in general, I get a lot of respect. So that's something I was always fighting hard for, and it's good that it works out. You know what I mean? Like I trusted that martial arts. I knew that could be my job, you know, but I just, you know, I think I was just a little, you know, I don't know what happened. It's just right. It just works, you know, and I got, you know, a lot of help.
Sometimes timing is right too, right? But I always say to people like, oh, it was timing, but man, you had the balls to get there and do that and make that timing happen too, right? Like nothing comes without hard work. And like, it's funny that you say that your friends like have no idea, but you're like, that's the thing. Like you're like some guy in Nova Scotia, Canada, in a totally different province is asking you to be on a podcast because I think you're super talented and very respected in the martial arts and jiu-jitsu community too, man. So it's interesting you say that because so many people in martial arts, I think, feel that way.
Yeah. It's dude, jiu-jitsu is the shit, you know. It's like the martial arts have always been, it's a great community, you know what I mean? Like it's self-regulated, you know what I'm saying? So I enjoy that. It gets vetted, you know what I mean? There's no one making it in this business that's not getting vetted, you know what I mean? I enjoy that about this. You know, I like it holds you accountable. It's a hell of a job. You know, you got to have your shit together because, you know, it's cool to be a black belt, but you got to live up to that too. You know what I mean? Eddie's a fucking legend.
Yeah.
John Jock, like I really admire those guys, you know? I have a lot of good role models and stuff. So I'm just trying my best, you know what I mean? And, dude, opportunities are going to come. What's for me is for me. And I'm just holding it down here in Pennsylvania for 10th Planet and for my family and shit. It's good living. It's not bad, you know? Yeah.
How are things? That's I like hearing that, man. It's good living, right? Like hard work sometimes pays, man. Hard work, dedication. And you talk about Eddie there, man. Like Eddie is one of those guys, like he's very personable. He seems like I don't know him at all, but you see him online and stuff. He seems so personal and easy to talk to. Like there's zero ego from that man. Like and you can kind of tell that with everybody in 10th Planet, just kind of flows that way, man. Easy going, low key.
Yeah, he's like he doesn't care about like what social status you know what I mean? Like none of that matters to him. Like, dude, he's just a cool ass dude. Like I learned a lot from him. Like he's not into this, you know, I'm better than you shit. And you know, I get like that too. Like I'm like, well, I'm fucking J.M. Holland sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you need to back up off that.
Yeah.
You need to back off that because that real ones don't need to do that. You know what I mean? Like a real one just, dude, when I'm on the mat with John Jocks or something, it's like it really is like a presence about these people that like you're like, wow, this dude really is the real deal. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's like bona fide. So, you know, I think that's what everyone's really pushing for at the end of the day. You know, to be like those guys. You know.
Yeah, well, it's cool, like you say, because when I go and roll with my coaches, I'm like, oh wow, like it's an amazing. You feel so good. But for me, like why I started Submission Series or any of these events, it's because I look at people like you guys and I'm like, man, like, to meet like you or Zach or whoever in the jiu-jitsu community, for us, it's like we're a little Nova Scotia. It's cool, man. It's like you look up to people. And it's the same way you guys are with like Eddie and Jean Jacques, right? Like, but at the end of the day, everyone's just a person who just loves jiu-jitsu, man.
Yeah, there's no faking that.
Yeah.
There's no faking that. you know, it's a cool job until you got to work for it. And then we see who really loves jiu-jitsu, because you're getting to get fucked up. You're going to be injured and have to take time off. You're going to have to work. You're going to have, dude, me and Zach both wanted it, you know, like, and then we have students that really want it for, you know, it's not a gimmick to like get likes on Instagram. It was, you know, back in the day a little bit, but
dude.
now it's, you know, I'm feeding my son with this shit. It's real deal, Holyfield.
That's it, man. There's so much more to it than that, eh? Like just getting likes on Instagram, like to building a club. You know, people can, you know, JM or Zach, like they're putting it online or whatever, but they're not seeing the 2 or 3 times you're going into the club, or the not only the 2 or 3 classes you're teaching or working with Grace or whatever it is, and dealing with the text messages and the admin side of it. There's so much that goes into, man, behind the scenes for what you guys do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zach handles a lot of that stuff, man. Zach's really, dude, he is on his game. You know what I mean? Like I've known Zach since I was a kid, and I've known that he would always be like I've known Zach practically his whole life. So I've always known his potential and what that guy's capable of. So teaming up with him, you know, and trusting him in the beginning was really easy. You know what I mean? Like,
that's awesome.
And, you know, he's really doing his thing, you know?
I didn't realize you guys grew up together. That's cool. I like that. Not too often.
Well, he's like 6 older than me. So he was like in my karate class when I was a little kid, you know? He was already winning MMA fights. By the time I was like 12, 13, he was knocking guys out in MMA fights. So it's pretty crazy.
Cool. I didn't realize that part of it. Where's the craziest place you've ever competed? Like competing for Chael must be absolutely bananas. Or combat must have been probably the craziest, eh?
Yeah. No, combat jiu-jitsu is pretty cool, and I like it a lot because not everyone was willing to do that.
Yeah.
And that just separates me from everybody else. So I like that. You know, kind of, you know, JM did combat jiu-jitsu. So because that's always the thing with me is I never went pro in MMA. So like I kind of, you know,
had a point.
Not that I regret it. Pro MMA is asking a lot. I had 9 amateur fights, and I have a couple like striking fights, Muay Thai fights, and stuff like that. But pro MMA is crazy. Like I know the guys that Zach fought were on steroids or God knows what. You know what I mean? Like they were. You're fighting pro MMA or
different breed. What do you think, Gordon? Man, you think Gordon will ever transition into MMA like he was supposed to?
Dude, that's asking a lot. I would chill and just make money in jiu-jitsu if I were Gordon.
No
Fuck
question.
MMA, dude.
Yeah.
What's the best thing that can happen to you? You're gonna get in the UFC and get knocked out by someone that's a killer. Like, that's the best case. And you make money. Yeah. Everyone's deal is their deal. You know what I mean? Like, there's some people fighting the UFC for free.
Yeah,
I'd fight in the UFC for free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Exactly what I mean. There's guys that wouldn't fight in the UFC for $10 million.
Yeah, me. No, I'm shocked at how many people message me who are professional.
I would love to see Gordon in MMA. Like, huh?
That would be badass to see Gordon Ryan in MMA. But I think you're right. He'd be smart to stick to MMA. Do seminars. Do your super fights. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Hey, man, it's up to him, bro. He's got to put in that work. You know what I mean? If he wants to be MMA, but I mean, he's so dominant in jiu-jitsu, he can run the whole game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
smart.
a comfy spot right there.
Yeah.
We'll see. I obviously like what Gary Tonin and Chrome Gracie are doing. I think they're amazing. You know what I mean? I think a lot of guys are really good. I think like Shane Burgos, I'm a big fan of his.
Yeah.
Jimmy Bear, I'm a big fan of his. Julio Arce, I'm a big fan of his. A lot of guys in the UFC I'm rooting for right now. Caitlin Chikagan just won this weekend. I grew up with her.
Oh, cool.
I have a lot of friends that are in high places in martial arts that are doing great, you know, so that's cool too. That's cool to see.
That is cool to see, man. Correct me if I'm wrong, you're a 3rd degree black belt under Tiger Schulman, right? So there's lots of striking.
Yeah, back in the day,
right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. So
yeah.
That must be a cool thing for you to see people succeed.
Oh, dude, it totally like co-signs on what I'm doing. Like when I see that my friends that I've grown up with are successful, I'm like, okay, I'm doing the right thing here. I feel pretty good. You know what I mean? Like if they're doing it, I'm doing it. You know, that's good. So it's awesome, man. It's really the people that are winning like that and doing all that stuff, man. They really deserve it because I know how hard those guys work. They've been good at martial arts since they were kids. Wow. Like people are like, no, that kid is going to be good. It's 9 years old, and then it's already happened. People are like, these kids when they grow up, they're going to be so good. You're seeing that right now.
Nice.
You've been seeing it. You know what I mean? Now you got kids, 19, 20, just started fighting, and they're good as shit. They're so good. It's really crazy. Some of the guys. And at the same time, I always bitch about guys not knowing how to fight in UFC. Like I'm always like talking shit, you know?
Well, sometimes I see what you're saying.
It's like the best it's ever been, but also like they're putting on some fights right now just to get on TV, I feel like. You know what I mean? They gotta keep cards up, you know? But I'd rather watch fights than not watch fights.
Yeah, well, that's it, man. It's because it kind of like you say, it's like they're I don't know if it's say losing the integrity a little bit, but you know, like you say, they're trying to just put on fights. So, you know, it's interesting for sure, man. I don't know. It's fuck. The whole sport boggles my mind at some points, man. To be completely honest,
it's like a lot of guys, dude. Like they fight other places, you know. There's other avenues, which is good. I hope John Jones gets his money. You know, I think that, like, what's his name? Deontay Wilder getting paid 10 times what John Jones makes. That doesn't make sense.
Not at all.
John Jones would beat Deontay Wilder up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's a shame. But you know, that's in every sport. There's that guy. Like Scottie Pippen was severely underpaid. It's right. You watch the Last Dance. You know, this shit. It's sports. It's the fight game.
Yeah.
So I mean, as long as there's a fight game and people are making money, we're gonna be complaining, you know. But,
that's it, and that's what they want, right? It's like a necessary evil, unfortunately. But I look at the earnings, but I don't know shit. Like, but I know what my promotion, I know what we pay and how hard it is to make But I look at the UFC and I'm like, man, like you're paying fighters 12 and 12, like that can't happen. Come on. Like at least 24 and 24 at the very minimum, like after taxes and managers. Some people are fighting in a different country with the exchange. Like, man, it's almost criminal sometimes.
Yeah, like I said, people would fight in the UFC for free.
Yeah.
A lot of people. You know what I mean? It's because it's the brand. You're associated with that brand now. It's a strong brand.
Yeah, that's it. Well, if people want to fight for us for free, I'm sure they'll definitely fight for UFC for free.
Yeah.
How's Grace dealing with all this?
Oh man, she's training. She's out there right now.
Nice.
She's out there right now. She's an animal, dude. She's really smart. Last night I taught class and I've been watching Grace roll a lot and you know, just watching what she does. I'm using it in my game. I'm taking from Grace.
That's awesome.
You know, she's that good. She's a beast and she's really smart and she loves jiu-jitsu a lot. So she's doing great. She's got accepted to Lehigh University.
Nice.
She's going to be going for like computers or something like that crazy. So she's just a stud, man. She's just such a good kid. You know what I mean? And, dude, knowing her I've grown up with her too. You know, she's seen this whole thing. She was the first student of mine. So, she's a legend already, dude.
Yeah. She really is. She legit. And I'm just saying this. There's so many variables to jiu-jitsu and growing up and everything, but that girl right there has the possibility of going down as being the best female grappler of all time, in my opinion. No pressure.
Yeah, she definitely does. I remember Eddie telling her that. You know, now you know they'll try to get her to fight someone huge. You know what I mean? That comes with a lot. You know.
Yeah.
I don't want to start saying that. You know, because she's got to fight the fights. You know what I mean? I think I tell her that all the time. She's got people in her ear telling her you could be the best. You know, she's been knowing that she could be the best. So she's really giving it her all these last couple of years. So, I mean, if she does this last match and, you know, she never fights again, dude, I'd be happy. Whatever. I don't care. She don't have to be a pro fighter.
Yep.
I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Her dirt's done. So
Yeah.
and then but she's been all over the world. We've been all over the world because of Grace.
Mm-hmm. She's left. You guys have left your mark on jiu-jitsu, man. Big time. She's the face in some ways. Like, it's crazy, man. Like,
oh no, I planned it out from the beginning. I planned it out from the beginning. I knew Grace is gonna be the face of this shit. You know what I mean? Eddie would tell us stuff, and man, it's smart, really cool. Man.
Well, it's important to have, like, going to that side of things with Grace. It's important, man. Like, so important to have good people in your corner that are going to help, like her parents, to trust you, to take her around the world. That shows how caring you guys are and what you want good things for her. Obviously, they know that because you train her, you're with her every day. But it's a crazy relationship that not many other people can experience in life.
Yeah, it's cool, man. She's just a kid, you know what I mean? She's like an 18-year-old. She's driving and shit. Her mom's super involved. Her mom like believed in us from the beginning. You know, that helped a lot. So she's not like, you know, she don't got weird parents like, you know, these jiu-jitsu parents.
Yeah.
I'm not dealing with no bullshit. You know what I mean? I don't play that at all.
Good.
And not that, you know, if her mom ever had a question or a concern, we talk about it. But, you know, on a level that I appreciate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she's not a dumb woman. All her kids are super successful.
Nice. Good parents. Goes a long way. Well, man, that's what I think. Like, you think like in 30 years when Grace, if she's working, whatever she chooses in life, man, she's going to look back at these moments and be like, wow, what a difference they made in my life.
Yeah, she's definitely a fixture, dude. 100%. That's family right there.
Yeah.
That's family right there, you know?
Yeah.
So it's beautiful, man. You know, Eddie always preaches family super hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's always, you know, so it's good, man. We built this. So now it's real strong.
Yeah.
Like with this COVID stuff, I wasn't sweating that hard. I'm like, we're so strong, you know what I mean? But it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Positivity, man. You know, having someone's back is pretty rare these days. And, you know, we're anybody involved in jiu-jitsu knows there's lots of bullshit, and it's refreshing to see that, man. And it's refreshing to see people just do good for one another, man. And you guys do a lot of that. And that's why I wanted to have you on here. I think you guys lead a lot. I've looked up to you guys for a hell of a long time with some finishers and all the shows and everything you guys have done, man. Is there any advice that you can drop to, you know, people who are, you know, struggling with jiu-jitsu, with clubs? Like, how can they come out of this and be successful, JM?
Just you know, nose on the grindstone, man. Stay focused on what's important, and you know, stay in your lane, you know, that kind of shit. Just it'll fall into place if you're working hard, if your heart's in the right place, you know what I mean? You won't have to try that hard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just got to work, you know?
Yeah. Like anything in life, right? You know, hard work pays off. It's like,
yeah. If you want it, you're going to get it. You know what I mean? But then the problem is you get what you ask for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, that's just what it is. But it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but I just hope everyone's doing good and, you know, sticks by each other right now. You know, that's all. And I don't know. Just, dude, we all got weird opinions and dumb shit we say, but that doesn't mean, you know, that we just can't stick by each other. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, focus on what's important.
Yeah, that again, very well said. I see so much of that in the last couple of days. People, why didn't you post this, or you're posting that? And it's like, man, like, settle down. Everyone's trying to be dividing us. Divide. Just stick together, man. If it's the jiu-jitsu community, whatever, stick together, man, because we can come out of this. And that's good to hear, man. And I appreciate it. And I'm glad that there's no issues down there with looting for you guys, and everything's safe and sound. And 10th Planet, Bethlehem and Allentown are going to live on. That's important, and I'm glad to hear that.
Dude, yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you for for the opportunity to talk, man. It was really cool getting on here, and we're doing great, you know. So don't worry about us. And you'll be seeing us, man, on the shows and stuff. You'll be hearing more from us, you know. And if you guys are ever in Pennsylvania, on the eastern side of Pennsylvania, we're like an hour north of Philly.
Nice.
Or if you're in New York City or far, you know, you can always come visit. I always get my ass kicked in front of my students. You know, come get some. You know,
I won't be the one to kick your ass, but I'll be the one to go get my ass kicked with you. No problem. I don't mind, man. I love a good roll, so I'd be honored to stop by sometime.
Yeah, Nova Scotia's the shit too. I took a cruise there when I was a kid.
Oh, nice, man. Yeah, come on up, man. We'd love to have you. If maybe we can work out a seminar or something once this gets sorted out. Maybe we can bring yourself and Zach up or something, and for a seminar or whatever we can work out, man. Because I've been meaning to have you guys up for our submission series events back in the day, and that never happened. But yeah, man, it's such a small world. I think it would be cool to get together sometime and shoot the shit. And I'd love to learn off you, man.
Dude, I appreciate that, man. You know, my shit is real basic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Real basic. I just kind of keep it, you know, I don't know. But yeah, we'll chop it up for sure, man. That's awesome opportunity. You know, I appreciate you taking the time and shit, man. I really do.
Man. No, I appreciate you joining us, and be safe down there, and lots of love to you, and keep spreading those positive vibes, man. Lots of love from here. There you go, folks. JM Holland. See you, pal.
Awesome.
Great guy. Again, a guy I've been watching for a hell of a long time in the jiu-jitsu scene. He's under Eddie Bravo, black belt, an absolute a stud, I guess we will call him. So there you have it, folks. Episode 66, again, sponsored by our friends at Maritime Madness, located in Prince Edward Island. Check them out at maritimemadness.com. You can use the code FLA10, receive 10% off with free shipping over $35. Make sure you check them out. Support companies that support martial arts and support other local companies. There's too many people out there that talk about supporting and don't. It's very important, myself included, especially right now. Anyway, folks, thanks for tuning in. This was a wonderful evening with 4 different guests, fantastic chats from people from all over North America. Lots of great information, and yeah, lots of different flavor to that conversation, and we'll see where it goes from here, folks. Anyway, if you can be anything in this world, be kind. We will see you tomorrow, episode 67. Lots of love, folks. We're out. As always, thanks for tuning in, and thank you to our sponsors. We'll see you tomorrow.